Welcome everybody to Review Please Video Game Edition. Today we're talking about
Gris, which was developed by Nomada Studio based in Barcelona, Spain, and published by Devolver Digital. The game follows a girl named Gris who wakes up in the palm of a crumbling statue of a woman. She attempts to sing out, but quickly becomes choked up, and the statue's hands crumble, dropping her to the colorless earth below. After landing, she continues walking forward and discovers a number of strange structures that seem to be powered by mysterious points of light resembling stars. And basically, you're journeying along, trying to figure out what is going on. With the statues, with the world, why it's become colorless. Because as you can tell in the beginning, if you've played this game, for those listening or watching, basically it's all very bright and colorful in the beginning, and then the world just goes to bleh. It just basically goes empty, becomes empty of color.
It loses its color.
Exactly. And basically you play through as Gris. Before we go into just deep dive into the game of what we liked, disliked, into detail, I wanted to get your opinions, Jesus, because I know this is a game that initially we were supposed to review Maneater, but it just didn't work. So we went to this. This is something, a game that caught my attention, and I suggested this, and we went through with them. Glad that we took this over Maneater, just because I had a blast with this game. Nothing wrong. It is a good game, but it just didn't work. So yeah. Maneater. Get it fixed on.
Yeah, I mean, I played it. I played it on PlayStation, so I don't know.
Well, there you go.
You're shit out of luck, bro.
But overall, let's get your top level thoughts of it, and then we can just bounce back and forth till we get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah. So my top level thoughts for this. This game is when people talk about video games being art. This is art. This is visually striking. It's probably the most visually striking game we've played and talked about. It is just utterly gorgeous. Like, even when the world is stark and colorless, it is beautiful to look at. The artwork is so good. And then when you start going through the game and the game starts adding the color and the way the colors blend together when you just have red and how it's various shades of red, and then you add blue and yellow and all of these other colors, and just the way that it's blending together in the world and how these sections or world areas like change over time as you're adding more color. I thought it was a brilliant way to give agency to the player of like, oh, we're adding color to this world as we're going through. Then I also really enjoy, I shouldn't say enjoy because it's rather depressing, their look at grief, the way this game tackles grief and loss, because spoiler, Gris's mother died. And she's trying to grapple with the loss of her mother. And that's why there is a colorless world and it's devoid of everything. And so you're going on this journey of just trying to grapple with that grief. And I thought the depiction of that was really well done in the artwork and in the music too. The music was great and the sound was also really good. So yeah, those are my top level thoughts. Like, I think it's very visually striking. And when you look at video games as art, I think this is like at the forefront of this is art. I hope that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. Before we continue, I did want to give what's it called? A shout out to the composer Berlinist, who's the one that made the music of this game, which is man, if there's one of the games, if there's any games that stand out for their music, this is definitely one of them. Like, just
utterly beautiful.
Man, there were so many moments. It's the music where it was very cinematic and it just fits so perfectly to go along with the game. And and it hits you right from the get-go, which I just love. It just says, here it is, this is what Gris is about. And it just, I loved it. One of my favorite parts, as a musician myself, I was just like, oh my God, this is ear candy. It's delicious. It's amazing. I love it.
Oh yeah.
And so I'll say that I agree as well that Gris having me I had no prior knowledge of what Gris was
Mhm.
because it was basically like kind of like a indie game, I guess you could say,
Yeah, it's
where
an indie game. So
and so it didn't really hit my radar at all when it did initially come out because this initially came out in December 2018, and so
Mhm.
it didn't really hit my radar. I knew nothing of it, but I'm glad we played this just because to kind of chime in on what you've said, the art, the art style of it's gorgeous, beautiful, everything about it, like it just flowed perfectly. Whether it went from a cinematic style to the gameplay, it just effortlessly, seamlessly flowed in together without
Yeah.
being jarring, without just taking you out of the experience. Everything about it was just oof, like oof, chef's kiss,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Um, and so I
I
really
do
enjoyed.
wanna do a quick shout out.
Uh-huh.
I think this is one of the best, I think this is the best game where we've seen a title screen. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Where
Yeah.
you start playing, you're, like, falling and stuff and all that, and you go, and then you get to that first tower, and it, like, raises
Yeah.
up, and you see Gris, and I'm like, "Oh, this is fucking awesome, dude." Like, I
Exactly.
loved that, just, like, you get to that tower, and it just rises up. I was like, "Oh, this is so cool."
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it's so freaking cool. But other
sorry.
than that, no, 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 you're fine. It's perfect because I think this is just I wouldn't or excuse me, I'd recommend this to anyone, whether
Mhm,
or not you're into video games, just to play for the kind of experience of it because I think it's perfect. It's great. It's such a simple game to play. It's not very complex at all to kind of pick up on. I guess you would call this basically like a platformer, right? You're just kind of moving
yeah, I
around.
guess it's a platformer, yeah, 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 yeah.
And then, like you said,
Platformer puzzle, so
yeah, and it's interesting because what I enjoyed so much, so this game, there's no dialogue at all. It's all
mhm,
just kind of like the music, and then you're trying to just paying attention to what's happening to the nonverbal communications, the body language. When she's kind of like looking at the statues as they're crumbling, and just kind of like you can feel the emotion within each scene.
mhm.
Um, and it's just perfect. I love it so much. But enough about me just loving this, us loving this game so much. Um, to kind of
Mm.
go in a little bit deeper, to go in a little bit deeper here. Overall,
Can I go on a rant real quick?
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead. No, you're fine.
I'm looking through the wiki stuff.
Mhm.
In 2019, it was nominated for Best Art Direction at the Game Awards.
Oh well, there you
Did
go.
not win.
Who did it lose to?
Control won.
Wow.
And look, I love Control. I love Remedy games. I'm sorry, but this the art direction for this game is so much better than Control. It just made me mad.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going on a rant there. Again, I love Control. I think Control's art style and direction is awesome,
Yeah.
but Chris is so much better. Chris
Wow.
is so
That's crazy. Yeah.
it did not like it got nominated for a lot of like art direction stuff, but it
Yeah.
just didn't win. The only time it won was at the GDC awards in the
Ah.
2019. But it's like,
Okay.
come on, man, this game is
Yeah.
so whatever.
It's
Whatever.
beautiful.
Fuck it. I don't care anymore. This game sucks. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, to go in a little bit more of a deeper dive overall,
Mhm.
how did you feel about the pacing of the overall game? Because this game's not super long. I think what I beat it in like 2 hours and maybe 20 minutes. It's kind of like a much of a short story type of game.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. It doesn't get super deep. I'll say this that one thing I did enjoy a lot was just kind of like they didn't do, of course, a lot of deep dive into like the background of the lore of the world, but I think they did just enough to give you just what you needed to kind of
Mhm.
like get from point A to point B, the main story, which I loved a lot. Just subtle little things and letting the gamers just figure it out on their own. They didn't
Yeah.
lead you like this is the bad guy, this is the good guy. They didn't just lead you like you should feel sad here. They kind of just left it up to your interpretation in a way.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I enjoyed a lot. What about you?
So this is where I'm gonna be negative.
Uh-oh.
I it took me about 2 hours to beat this game.
Mhm.
Um, which is fine. Like I'm fine with short games. But I did want a little bit more.
Mm.
I wanted a little bit more just visual information.
I gotcha.
And I also just like I did not care for the puzzles. I'm already not that big of a platformer person to begin with.
Gotcha.
And so like I found in those 2 hours,
Mhm.
2-ish hours, I felt bored a good chunk of
Mm.
it where I was just like, "Ah, we're just doing a lot of running. I'm jumping here, doing that. Okay, going back now. Cool. The light little beams. Hey, color. This is freaking beautiful. Hey, this little cute dude helping me out." Like
Yeah.
that there were moments where I was just like, "This is so cool." And then there were other moments where I like, "Oh my god, why am I running?" Cuz that 2 hours that I played did
Mhm.
feel longer to me. Where I was just
Mm.
like, I don't know if it could have been more puzzles or making it a little bit more challenging because this game's not hard at all. You can get
No,
through
it's
this like
not.
with
Yeah, it's
it's
not.
like there's nothing to really challenge you. Like even the puzzles aren't that challenging in my opinion. But
Yeah.
like I just I just found several points where I was just like I felt like things were dragging where I
Yeah.
was like I just need something here to keep me focused because at this point I'm not focused. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm drifting away. I paused the game to look at my phone. Like that sort of
Gotcha.
thing because I was just like, um, so that's where I'm at with gameplay wise, where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Um, where it just wasn't working for me, even though it was a short game, and I appreciate that, and I do think
Mhm.
it told the story that it needed to tell in those 2 hours. I
Yeah.
do think there should have been more of a challenge throughout that to really keep you focused. Because I think
Gotcha.
for some players, I would recommend this to a lot of people. I would recommend this to
Mhm.
everybody just to try it out to see. But I do think the long areas, stretches where it's like 5 minutes of just walking around, not really doing
Yeah.
anything, will turn people away. Be like, well, what's the point of this?
Gotcha.
If the
Yeah.
music and the art style and stuff is not pulling them in, I think
Yeah.
the stretches where you go where you're just running across the screen, not
Yeah.
really doing anything. I think that's gonna kind of turn people away,
I
in
could
my
see that.
opinion.
I could definitely see that. I'd say that because I know I enjoyed it a lot. There were maybe when I say handful, maybe really on like one or two moments where I think I was like, all right, like I'm going up these steps up and down. I mean, like
Yeah,
I'm jumping, trying to get these little stars here so I can walk across this sea of stars over here. But
yeah,
outside of that, I think to me, it wasn't too much of a knock on it for me. I think overall, though, I had a great time with it. I'm trying to think. Um, there were a handful of times, maybe I just, and this is probably me, where I didn't pay attention enough, where I did kind of feel lost in certain places. Where I'd be like, "Hey,
mhm,
which way am I supposed to go? How am I supposed to get here?" Because, like you said, for the most of the time, you're just walking.
yeah,
A lot of times, if you don't know where to do or where to go, just go the opposite direction in this game.
yeah.
It's like it's that
Just go
simple.
the opposite way. Yeah.
Just go the opposite way, and it'll lead you some stairs, and you'll go somewhere. And you're like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be here." And so,
Occasionally, you'll have a cute little person thing following you
yeah,
around and helping you out and stuff. But
yeah, like a little cube like thing that eats apples, and
yeah,
so
that's in the
that
second world, right? Or
yeah, that's in the second
was that
world.
the
Yeah,
third? Yeah,
it
second
might be
world.
the second world, I think.
Yeah,
But I think out of that, because yeah, this game does heavily rely on the art and the music to kind of keep you engaged because they're
yeah,
all kind of like synced in a way.
hmm
The one thing I always remember from the game is the level where there's like a storm and you have to take shelter within these kind of like cave like things, and then every time the storm comes back, the music gets very impactful and it's very loud and just like just not necessarily evil sounding, but it's like, whoa, this is crazy. And then once it goes away, it settles down, you're
yeah.
chill, you're just kind of all, but all you're doing though is just walking to the right. That's all
Right.
you're
Yeah.
doing.
You're walking to the right, and then as at one of the worlds, you start walking to the left, and then you flip back around to the right. It's like
Yeah.
back and forth. Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, this is why I'm not a platformer person. This is why, like I'm not a look. I appreciate it. Like I said, I do think this game is good.
Uh-huh.
The platforming is just not fun, in my opinion. It's just not. I just there's just not enough for me to really sink my teeth into in that regard. The thing I'm gonna
Gotcha.
always remember about this game, and thing I'm gonna always appreciate about Gris is the art style,
Yeah.
is the music, and like there is an emotional journey, and I think the
Yeah.
emotional journey comes through the arts and the
Hmm.
music, more so than the gameplay. Um, I almost feel like you could turn this into a short film in a way, and
Definitely.
really, I don't know how you would do that. I guess you have the little person running
Oh
around,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
it almost feels like I could have. had experienced this as a short story or a short film in a way, like an
Yeah.
animated short film, because like it's just visually so amazing and just
Yeah.
you learn the story through the visuals and the music
Exactly.
cues more so than the gameplay. So yeah,
Very true. It's funny because yeah, the gameplay is just basically like bridges connecting you to that
yeah.
story. It's just that's all it is.
Oh,
It
but
almost like
occasionally you can turn into the little cube to,
oh
you
yeah,
can
to
turn
slam down the
slam
cube with
down,
the
and then you
head
can
over
do
the
other
top.
things.
Yeah.
You get that little ability to like jump higher, right?
Yeah,
Float,
jump high or like double jump and float.
yeah,
Yeah.
float, yeah.
I
So
think there was
you
like
do get like abilities and stuff, but I'm still like, it still
yeah,
doesn't do much for me. So
yeah, because I'll say the abilities are cool, but they're not necessarily impactful. Because there is, I guess you could call it like a not really a boss fight, but it's like a pursuit, and
yeah,
like your abilities come into play to get away. You never get to use your abilities to
just to
go
like
against
turn
to
around
fight.
and like yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's always to kind of like get you to, hey, now you need to go over here, and it's that's all it is because there's no fighting in the game, so it's just
yeah,
like it's a true like platformer just jumping here and getting to the end. That's all it is.
yep.
Which I did want to ask, how did you feel about the antagonist in it, with being the black bird in here? Do you think the story overall? Because you did mention that you enjoyed the way it tackles grief,
Yeah.
that you enjoyed a lot. But overall, the story, how would you feel about the story?
I mean, overall, like the story of grief is really what this is about, right? Like Gris
Yeah,
is trying to deal with that depression, deal with how do I move on in a way
yeah,
after losing someone so important to me. The blackbird is that symbol of just like that looming darkness that's always there. Like,
yeah,
it's always present. And I think there's closure at the end of the game that I think
yeah.
that that's utterly beautiful, like from the music and everything. Like everything about
Oh
it is
yeah.
just beautiful. There's also I want to say there was maybe I'm making this up. Let me go back to the wiki. I think there's like a secret ending,
I
right?
think there is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I remember seeing that. If I'm,
Let me look at this real quick.
yeah,
Uh, if all the
yeah, there is.
mementos are collected, Gris's childhood is revealed in a secret room. It is nighttime, and child Gris is in the meadows with her mother. So there is like a sort of secret ending to
Yeah,
like you have to
exactly.
collect all the mementos, which I did not do. Which I did not do.
No, I
So
did not do. Yeah.
sorry, I just spoiled this for everybody. Uh, but yeah, like it's just I appreciate it and enjoyed it a lot. And like I said, I think the story you take this story and
Mhm.
take these visuals and take the music, it would work so well as like as an animated short film or something. Like
Yep,
I just think it would be perfect for that sort of
definitely.
medium. For a game, it's not really work. It again just doesn't work for me as a game, but everything else works for me. It's such a weird thing for me.
I get that, and that makes sense. Because yeah, I will say that this game definitely, in a way, the only thing that always comes to mind, we're comparing it to is a short hike, but I think this is way better than a short hike where it's able to. It's more beautiful. Not to say that short hike isn't like cool in its own
How
way
dare
with
you?
the pixel,
How
but
dare you?
I think
Short hike
that
is utterly gorgeous.
it does short hike was trying to do in a better way,
Yeah.
because they're both short games, and just the art style is beautiful. They're because they have their own cool things to them, but um I did enjoy a lot, even though the journey's only 2 hours. I think I was okay with it. Which it did have a cool moment that I want to say that for those who have played it or those who have not, this is not a spoiler, but or at least I don't
I
think
mean, I've
so.
already spoiled it, so it doesn't even
Oh
matter.
yeah,
I just spoiled the whole
um,
fucking game.
the part where there's an initial pursuit where the darkness is going for Chris, and she's I
Mhm.
guess in the ocean level trying to rise up, trying to get away from it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And then she gets engulfed with it, but then the turtle of light comes out of nowhere and saves. And I was like,
Yeah.
"This is cool as hell! I love this game just for this
Yeah.
moment, just because it was so cool."
Yeah.
But
Again,
it
it's
has
the
cool
art.
little
It's the
moments.
art that
Yeah,
makes it work, and then the music that goes with it and stuff. And that just brief moment of darkness, where before it
yeah,
happens, it's like, oh, this was perfect. Like, yeah.
yeah.
So
When that happened, I was like, I almost cheered here in my room. I was like, "Yeah!" And so it was so cool. But I love
yeah.
that moment. But I mean, to be honest, I feel like almost in a way we've almost said everything that I think about the game, just because it's a short game, and we've raved and then we've said our
It's gonna be honest. Like other than the gameplay for me, like I don't have anything bad to say. And the gameplay
No, it's
wise, it's
true.
just like for me, it just doesn't work for me. I just
I get
don't
that.
think I don't think the gameplay works. But
I
again,
get that.
that's me. I don't see how it's. I don't really, other than like going to these towers and like getting these, getting the colors and stuff. The platforming just doesn't. I don't see how that's enhancing the story in any way. Is
I get that.
like I don't feel like the gameplay is in service of the story in a lot of ways. But
I
that's
get
just
that.
me. So
Okay. Yeah, I'll say on my final closing thoughts of it that I think this game is great. I think it's something that you can, if you're just bored for a day or something like that, I think this game is perfect. Even if you're not, even if you're just looking for an experience,
mhm,
something short that won't just like tie you down for, days or months or however long, depending
mhm,
how big the game is. I think this is perfect for that.
yeah,
I think it's also a great way to introduce people who maybe aren't into video games into them,
mhm,
just because of how like it's just all encompassing. Like my partner was watching me play it, and she was in love with the art. She was like, "Oh my god, this is beautiful!" And she loved
yeah,
the music, and she enjoyed it a lot. Um,
yeah,
so I'll say that. Even I think besides that, of course, there were moments where I think I was a little confused, but even in those small moments, I don't think it knocked this game down all really for me. I had
yeah.
such a great time with it, and I definitely would recommend it for those who play it.
Yeah, I would recommend it too, and I like you saying experience because this is definitely an
Yeah,
experience.
yeah,
Because again, I think this is art. This is artwork in a lot of
yeah,
ways. This is art in a way that none of the other games really are.
yeah,
Or maybe a short hike comes close. Maybe Cocoon comes
yeah.
close.
I'd say yeah, Cocoon is
But
the
this
closest
is
one that I compare it to.
yeah. But like this is art in a lot of ways, and I love that about Gris. Um,
Nice.
So, with all that said and done, we have to rank it.
Oh yeah, we
We
gotta
have to
rank it.
rank it, baby. And thank God we're ranking this game because something's about to happen and I'm so happy. But our rankings for so far, my ranking for myself, we have individual
Mhm.
lists and then we have our overall list. So, the
Yes.
ranking so far for me, my number one game is RoboQuest. Oh shit, no, Amnesia's not going to get knocked off. Fuck. We only have 10 games. Shit.
Oh,
It's not going to be
whoops.
till next time. Damn it. I just ruined my life. My number one game, RoboQuest. Number two, Starfield. Number three,
Uh-huh.
Rollerdrome. Number four, Sea of Stars. Number five, Cocoon. Number six, Lies of P. Number seven, Arcade Paradise. Number eight, A Short Hike. And then number nine, our overall list.
Mhm.
Number one, Starfield.
Wow.
Number two is a tie,
What?
Sea of Stars and Rollerdrome
Holy crap.
with 15 points, not 13. RoboQuest is at number three. Number
Oh,
four, Lies of P.
wow.
Number five, Cocoon.
Nice.
Number six, Gris. Number seven,
Alright.
Arcade Paradise. Number eight, A Short Hike. And then at number nine,
Ooh.
Amnesia, The Bunker. Blech. Um, so that's our overall list. Elle, how do you feel
Nice.
about your list so far? How you liking it?
I'm liking this list a lot. There's only one change if I could go back and make, which I don't know if you remember which that change is, but there's one change I
I do
wish I
know. I
could
do
make.
know it is. And what I'm
Yeah.
about to tell you, Elle, guess what?
What?
I'm not going to do it now. We'll do it next time. We'll make the change next time.
All right. But
Because I don't want to redo
no,
math.
I gotcha. No, it's interesting, but overall, I think I do enjoy the rest of this list. I think that whenever this change comes, I think that I'll be happier. But overall, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you? Are you happy with it?
Oh, I'm very happy with the list.
Nice.
There's one game that I probably would put lower. Um,
Oh,
and that's just from the staying effect of that, like, I played it and then
yeah,
I haven't thought about it. And the only reason I
interesting.
thought about it recently is because, well, there's a awesome show called Fallout.
Oh yeah.
To give a hint, I would put Starfield low on my list.
Oh,
Because like everything else, like Rollerdrome still sits with me. But that's probably as far I would actually go. So it's not that even that big of a drop. Rollerdrome, I just enjoy a lot. So
nice.
I can't put it below Sea of Stars because I actually don't like Sea of Stars. The only reason I put Sea of Stars at number 4 is because it is actually fundamentally a good game, and there's no reason why I should put it so low on my list, and I won't ever do that for another game again. So if I don't enjoy a game, I'm gonna put it wherever the hell I want to put it. Sea of Stars, you're the only one I'm doing this for.
Oh, nice.
And so just so everyone knows, we won't have our next games.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 games coming up for June. Persona 3 Reloaded and Hellblade 2.
Mm-hmm.
L.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable ranking Persona 3 for me.
Whoa.
Because, spoiler, it's my number 1 game.
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
It's probably going to be my game of the year for 2024 because I fucking love Persona.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking, unless you put it at number 10, and if you put it at number 10, I'll fucking kill you. I was going to put Persona wherever you put it on your list.
Whoa.
Because it's going to be if I put it on my list, it's going to be number 1. So my idea was like, what if I let you put it on my list? Wherever you put it, I will mirror it. However, that means one of the upcoming games, you have to let me do that for your game. Oof. One of these upcoming games. Because we have Hellblade, we have Persona, and then I don't really think we've planned out anything for the rest of the year. But
no.
But I'm not going to use it for Hellblade. I'm not going to use that because that's an unknown to me. Even though I liked Hellblade the first one. But future game. You let me decide a ranking for a game.
Okay.
To keep things interesting, because again, Persona for me would be number 1 because like I'm a Persona fanboy through and through. I love 3. I love all Persona. So again, I don't feel comfortable ranking it when I know it's going to be number 1.
I get that. Okay.
Also, I've beat it twice already. Yes, I've beat it twice since it came out. My fucking God, I love this game. I've beat it on PlayStation and I beat it on PC. So
wow, nice.
I love Persona.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, stick around for that to see where I rank it.
So spoiler, I love Persona. This is really going to be about whether or not L likes Persona.
Exactly. I've never played this game. I've only heard of it through Jesus here, and so it's going to be interesting. It's
you better play all of it too. It's like 100 hours long, dude.
All of it? Oh my God.
It's like I think the Xbox says. I think Xbox
it does say like
says,
100 and something.
I think it's that's for completionists. I think it's like 60 hours for. Yeah, let me look.
Okay.
I'm looking at it right now. It is 82 or 62 hours if you just do main story and you're not like
worried about
doing all of the completionists. The completionist is 91 hours according to the how long to beat stuff. So like you are gonna like of that 62 hours. I'll give you a warning now. A good chunk of that 62 hours is going to be just grinding so you can fight bosses and stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a JRPG. You're gonna have to grind.
Yeah.
So like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Well, makes sense. So, well, everybody stay tuned because we're gonna see whether or not where I put this. And then Jesus is either gonna hate me
again. If you put it at 10, if you put it below 7, I'm gonna veto it. If you put it below 7, I'm gonna veto it and put it at number 1 on my list. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna say nope, putting it at number 1. If you put it below 7, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna be so angry that I'll be angry if you don't even put it in the top 5. Let's be real. But if you put it at 8, 9, or 10, I'm done. I'm burning this place down. We're not doing any more. We're not doing any more reviews because
this show is done.
We're not doing anything. This shit. You ruined it. So we'll see. So come back in 2 months and find out. Find out if I love
burns down.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things. We're going to review it, and then I'm going to teleport behind you. I'm just going to.
Oh my God!
I'm going to put it at number 10. Actually, I'm not even going to put it on the list.
Whoa!
I don't think it's bad. Oh man, if you don't even put it on the list, oh my God. Oh my God! I'm putting so much pressure on you too.
You are, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this game. I'm like, oof.
All right, L. I've rambled enough. I've gushed enough about Persona for a game that. It's really that review is going to be you. I'm just going to leave it in your hands because I'm going to have nothing but good things to say. So,
exactly.
Anyways, wrap us up. Before that, though, just to do a quick reminder, before we do the Persona review, though, we do have Hellblade 2 Hellblade 2 is coming out. Let me double check on the date. Hellblade 2. It's coming out May 21st. So May 24th is actually when it comes out. We are going to review that. So be on the lookout. That's going to come. Our review for that is going to release on June 7th. So it's going to be about 2 weeks after it comes out to give us plenty of time to play it and give our thoughts. Because we want to give a thorough playthrough of it. So we'll see.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for that on June 7th. And then at the end of June, we will have the Persona 3 Reloaded review, where El will tell us about his journey and whether or not he has been transformed into a Persona person.
Very true. We will see. But everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to Review Please Video Game Edition. Usually the Video Game Edition comes out monthly. So, of course, this episode we reviewed Gris. And wait for the next episode where we review Hellblade 2. You can watch the Video Game Edition review here on our YouTube, Respawn Please Podcast. Just type that in YouTube. You'll find us. Make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos. Of also when we go live and things like that. And make sure to follow us on social media at Respawn Please Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And thanks so much for joining us.
Bye, people.
Bye.